Hello guys, my name is TviTournaments. I'll be your host for the podcast today, and I'll be discussing the tournament that just got started yesterday, as well as the teams, the trainers, and all that in between. The teams are going to be Pokemon that are only introduced in Scarlet and Violet, so this list here provided by Sarah B. These are all the Pokemon that are allowed. You were allowed, it's not on this list, but you were allowed to have Paldea, Wooper, Clodsire is there actually, and you're allowed the 3 Taurus forms. The tournament, you can just use any of those Pokemon that I've just scrolled through, but one had to be at the start Pokemon, which in my previous video we discussed Meowscarada, Skeledirge, and Quaxquavel. Our noticeable things about this tournament is it's best of 3, so you'll battle 2 times. If you have a tie, so if it's 1-1, then you'll play a third game. If you end up winning or losing by 2, then it's just a case of playing your third game for fun. First team that we have is Taylor, or Amadudus. As you can see, Taylor opted for Meowscarada, which I can go over. So, Meowscarada, we have Glimmora, which is a very nice Pokemon to set up Stealth Rocks, to set up Poison Spikes, Toxic Spikes, and it has enough special attack to really do some damage. Same with Palafin, but on the physical side. Then we have Mousehold, a nice simple normal type. Goldengo, which I believed I would have been seeing quite a lot of. Annihilate, which is a very, very bulky fighting attacker. But Taylor as a person, I've had the pleasure of battling them a few times, and they're growing. I've seen a lot of progression, especially over last year. So we've got 3 resistances to normal, 2 fire weaknesses, but don't worry about Meowscarada because with Protein it can change. Only 1 water weakness, but that can be covered with the resistances, as well as Meowscarada hitting the grass, using grass moves against water types. Electric Grass 1 weakness, which is on Palafin, the only 2 weaknesses it has. Meowscarada's got the ice weakness, but again Meowscarada can change. 2 fighting unis, so because there's 2 ghost types, any fighting types that want to attack this team, especially Meowscarada and Mousehold, Taylor has very thoughtfully put 2 ghost types in teams to maybe pivot and to swap in and out to make use of them immunities. Another immunity from poison with Goldengo, and again Meowscarada is weak to poison, but if you take Protein into account, then that doesn't matter too much. And with Meowscarada there, with Palafin there, you don't have to worry too much about grounds, so that's great, very nice. Flying again, 2 resistances and 2 weaknesses, but that can always change. And Annihilate can probably handle the flying types that it will be dealing with. Same with Psychic, it can handle the Psychic type, and because it's part Ghost, it can just deal Ghost damage back to the Psychic types. 2 quadruple Bug weaknesses, so Taylor is very prepared for Bug, especially with Glimmora there as well. And nothing on the Rock side, just 2 resistances, nothing really on the Ghost side, it's the 2 weaknesses, but again, Ghost hits Ghost. And if they really wanted to, Mousehold can come in and take the Ghost hits. Only 1 Dragon resistance, so if you've got a Dragon type, you can attack this team quite nicely. Again with Dark, you've got 1 Dark weakness and 1 Dark resistance. Still, there's only 1 Steel weakness with Glimmora. You've got 2 Fairy weaknesses and 2 Fairy resistances, so that kind of balances out nicely. In terms of the team as a whole, very nice physical, average physical, very nice physical. And then you've got 2 specials. They have unique typings of Poison and Rock, and then Ghost and Steel. It's just overall looking really nice. Here, and again, looking at this, we've now got coverage for every single typing. We've got 2-2-2, we've got 1 ground move now, which is nice. We've got something to cover Poison, which is that Earth Power. So Taylor, this is a very nice team. If I was to give it a ranking out of 10, I'd probably say a good 8. I'd say 8, purely because you've mixed your physical attackers, you've mixed your special attackers, you've got good utility if you wanted to use Thunder Wave and stuff. Let's go to the next card, which is Sarah, TVI Secretary Sarah. Sarah is another one of our admin, the only female admin of ours actually, and she is a big Eevee lover, which is why she's gone for Penny as her mascot. And her team consists of Meowscarada, Palafin, which is shiny because she's put a little sparkle there, Goldengo, Clodsire, a shiny Tinkaton, and a Kilowattrel. So looking at this team, it's looking very, very nice. Sarah, you've outdone yourself, and in terms of Sarah as a battler, she's on the rise. She is slowly getting better and better. She really wants to prove herself. She wants to make a stand for herself and show that she's a good battler. So looking at this defensively, I can see 3 fire weaknesses, which is unfortunate. But again, Meowscarada can change with Protein, so it's only technically 2 fire weaknesses. But then you've got Palafin here to deal with any fire attackers electric, one electric weakness, but then since he has an immunity here, if Kilowattrel does have that ability, then there's the immunity here, and then Meowscrader's got no resistance, but again with Protean that could be anyone's game. 4 grass resistances, which is very, very, very nice for any grass attackers that try to attack this team. 3 ice weaknesses, which isn't very nice, although one is on Meowscrader, it could just use Protean to change that typing. Fighting, 1 weakness, but there's immunity and that can change. Poison, there's 2 immunities, 1 quad resist, so that's very nice. 3 ground weaknesses. Now in this tournament, the only 2 ground types are Clodsire and Toadscruel. 1 flying weakness, but again that's on Meowscrader. 1 psychic weakness, which is on Clodsire, but you've got 2 steel types here and no dark type. Bug, you've got that awful ×4 weakness, but then you've got 2 quad resistances and 2 normal resistances, which is very nice. 1 rock weakness over here, but again you've got 2 steel types that can handle that. Only 1 ghost weakness, which is Goldengo, but Goldengo can use ghost moves again, and then you've got dark type over here. Dragon, no dragons are going to affect this team because you've got resistance and immunity. Plus if this uses play rough, then that's another immunity, which is very nice. 1 dark weakness, but then you've got fairy, which is nice. 3 steel resistances, which is nice, so steel isn't going to cause too much of an issue. And then 1 fairy weakness, but again that's something else great. So defensively, if you can ignore the fire, ice and ground, everything else is either 1 or 0. So if Calafin does have close combat, then it will be 1 over here. Again with electric, if Clodsire does have that earthquake, then there's 1 here. Poison, if Clodsire does have that earthquake, then 1 here. 1 for bug, which will be Kilowattrel's flying move if it has a flying move. But yeah, everything else is 2 or above, which is fantastic. I mean, Tinkerton could even have knockoff, and knockoff was on here, then you've got to think knockoff does psychic, which this would come up as a tick, knockoff does ghost, which again this would come up here. So yeah, very nice defensive coverage, ignoring these 3, but again you've got counters for those. And in terms of offense, these are all looking on 2 and above, which is very, very nice. You even got a 5 and a couple of 4s here. So overall, Sarah, this team is very, very nice. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. Again, it's very good defensively, it's very good offensively. Depending on how you built it with the EVs, depending on how you've given, depending on what movesets you've given them, I can see this team being a very prominent threat in this tournament. It's just a case of how you perform in this tournament. Wizzy! Wizzy is sporting the Skelly Dirge. This is Fortissimo. You've got Broly, which with this shiny symbol, I imagine this is a shiny one. Harley Quinn, which is very fitting for Tinkerton. Riptide, which again for water, just water ball, it's a very nice name. And then you've got Armourouge and Ceruledge. So he opted for both of the evolutions of Charcanet, one being Psychic, one being Ghost. This one's called Heartless, and this one is Undying, as in homage to Undertale. Wizzy as a person, Wizzy, again, they can hold their own. I've seen them grow and develop as a group. I can just see them doing really well in this tournament. We've got 4 normal resistances, which is very nice. 2 fire immunities if they have their abilities. Water is where this team doesn't shine, unfortunately. You've got 3 water weaknesses, 1 electric weakness, nothing to resist it. And again, another grass weakness, but again, you've got 4 resistances for that, which is nice. Ice types will not touch this team at all. If you tried hitting this team with ice, nothing would happen. 3 fighting immunities with 1 resistance, so again, fighting isn't touching this team. Poison isn't touching this team, so wow, this team is very defensively in some areas, but then as we scroll down, we've got some areas that it doesn't shine in, ground especially. 2 flying weaknesses, which isn't nice, but then you've got Tinkerton there, I suppose. 2 psychic weaknesses. Oh wow, Bug again is not touching at all. So with Wizzy's team, whereas the other 2 were quite balanced, Wizzy has gone for the screw it, I don't want grass touching me, I don't want ice, fighting, poison touching me, I don't want to have bug touching me. He's gone, I don't want half the board touching me, but the other half of the board can touch me. I can get hit by water, I can get hit by ground, screw it. As long as half the team is off, that's all good for me. 3 fighting type moves, which is very nice. Nice coverage of that grass move if he does have that grass move. Nothing for electric, so none of these will get ground. I mean, Skeledirge does get earth power, so earth power could be nice to get rid of electric type attacks. 3 grass coverages, which is nice. Every one of these count as ice, so if you're bringing an ice type against Wizzy, think again. 2 fighting coverages, 1 poison coverage, 1 ground coverage. Nothing for flying, so there's no electric moves that I can think of on these. You could get rock. I think Tinkerton gets rock slide, Taurus probably get rock move. Yeah, 3 psychic coverages, 3 fire, 4 rock. 3 Ghost, 1 Dragon coverage in Tinkerton, 4 Dark coverages, and steel coverages are looking nice as well. So Wizzy's team, I will knock it down slightly to maybe 7 out of 10. There's nothing wrong with the team. I think this team has very good offensive threat. It's just in terms of defense. Defensively, and if these two have their abilities, if they've got Grass Terror, or if any of these have a good Terror typing that counters these weaknesses up here, there's nothing wrong with the team, but I would very much worry if someone brings a Water type attacker or someone brings a Rock or Ghost attacker. So yeah, 7 out of 10. I'm only knocked down slightly because it's situational. So good luck to you, and we'll move on. Alright, Mark, here we go. Mark is one of our founding admin. So here we have what I'd like to say the top dog. These 3 are very surprising for him. Maybe he picked it up on because he's worried about Grime from these 2. Arbolivia, maybe he's got some sort of strategy with Arbolivia that makes use of its grassy terrain, who knows. So looking at this team on the defensive side, and already I can see these big red no-nos. 3 fire weaknesses, but then if he's fire baiting, maybe he wants to set up his Cereal Edge, maybe he wants to use Glimora and hit 5 types of nice rock type moves. 2 water weaknesses and 2 water resistances, so that's kind of balanced. 2 ice weaknesses, but again, Miasquare's got Protean, ice doesn't worry too much, and he's got fighting and steel and rock to deal with any ice type things. Oh, and fire here, obviously. 3 fighting weaknesses, which is very bad, especially in Orc if you get it especially. But with 2 ghost types, he might be planning to just switch out and bait people with fighting moves. 2 poison weaknesses, but then a whole bunch of resistances and immunity. 2 ground weaknesses, but again, if he's going for Orc strategy, maybe he wants to switch an Orc and heal it up, then he might go for that. 3 flying weaknesses, which is the last of the 3 or more weaknesses. 2 psychic weaknesses, and immunity and some resistance. Again, the dreaded bug, but then we've got 2 resistances here, so we don't worry about that. 1 rock weakness with Cereal Edge, but then he's got a steel type to deal with that, so he's got grass moves, he wants to go for that. 2 ghost weaknesses, but then he's ghost counters ghost, and then he's also got an immunity over here, so he might switch into that. Then he's got a dark weakness, he's got 2 steel resistances and 1 steel weakness, and 2 fairy weaknesses. On top of the offensive side, if these were to have their stab moves, obviously these aren't the guaranteed moves, but he's got 4 ice coverages, which is nice. He's got every single one of his Pokemon will have something that deals with rock, again with steel. So I think defensively is where his team shines, because he'll just switch around, he'll bait people, and he will take advantage of the abilities of these Pokemon. Offensively, I'm not going to base it too much on offense because I've only guesstimated these moves, but I'm seeing a lot of 2s, I'm seeing 1s. I'd have to give Mark a good 7 out of 10 for this team, purely because it would be hit and miss in terms of will he get the switches off, will he get the U-turns off. He's got Miasquare U-turn, will he be able to bait people on it? But yeah, that's for Mark, that's Mark's team. Good luck in tournament, Mark, I know you'll do well. Oh, this is my one. Thank you for Connor. He's going to be analysing my team really quickly because it's not going to be fair me kind of going over a team that I'm fully aware of. But Skeleturge is a bulky beast with recovery moves and Hex, which would be nice if I've got that set up. But unfortunately it's weak to water and ground, so you'd have to handle those before I set up. So he's saying that if I want to get my Skeleturge to be in a nice situation where I set it up, I've got to get rid of the water and ground type moves that defensive Hex. Spectre speed boost, so if it has speed boost, it'll have Lunar Crash and it will just stack up. Bat and Pass, yeah, so it gets Bat and Pass if I want to play it that way and just stack up the extra speed increases. Cormot with Iron Hands. Let's say I wasn't running Voltz, I was running Iron Hands, my punching moves would be powered up. So he gets access to Fire Punch, Thunder Punch and Ice Punch. He has Muck Punch, which is a priority fighting move, which would be very dangerous. Tinkerton can set up and be really scary, but only really if it does set up with a few speed boosts from a Bat and Pass and Solar Stance. It could be a force with its very steel typing. Garganackle is bulky beast, so he's more of a wall, he can take the hits. He has Salt Cure, which does residual damage each turn. With Salt Cure, not only does it do residual damage, but it does double to steel types and water types. Its ability Purifying Salts, don't have to worry about any status moves, and I get half damage from Ghost. If I feel like I'm being threatened by an Annihilate maybe, who wants to get me out with Rage Fists, I can switch into this, It will take a Rage Fist or two. Baxcalibur is a beast. If I give it Dragon Dance, it can hit like a truck. I can even use Draco Meteor if I want to go for the special side of things. So physically or specially, I can go for either or. And its ability, Firm Exchange, is brilliant because it means that Fire makes it so that if I get hit with a Fire type move, then I get a buff to my attack and I can't be burned. So this pseudo legendary cannot be burned, which means that its attack stat is safe. And if I get hit with a fire move, then my attack raises, which makes it just crazy. 1 fire weakness from TviTournaments, 2 water weaknesses from Skeledirge and Garganacl. I've only got Baxcalibur really to counter that. A grass weakness, no ice. I've got 2 fighting weaknesses, but then I've got a immunity and a resistance, which kind of balances it out. I'm good for poison. Ground is where I struggle with. I've got psychic weakness from Formok, and I've got ghost to deal with that. 2 ghost weaknesses, which is unfortunate, but then ghost counters itself, and if I have the right moves on these, maybe I've got dark, or maybe I've got some sort of other ghost moves, and that will work. 1 dragon weakness, but then dragon counters itself. 2 dark weaknesses and 2 dark weaknesses, plus TviTournaments fairy moves could go quite handy against dark attackers. 2 steel weaknesses and 2 fairy weaknesses. So everything is either a 1 or 2, mainly 2. My only weakness is obviously ground. I'm looking good on the ice coverage. I've got fire, I've got fighting, I've got steel and rock. I'm looking alright on the steel coverage to a degree because these 3 will hit steel, but these 3 won't. Connor's given me an 8 out of 10. Game's just 8 out of 10 overall. It's got really good coverage and good abilities to kind of screw my opponents over. So like he said, Garganacl's ability, Pormok's ability, Espathra's ability. Right, Dashen. But yeah, Dashen as an individual, they are really good. When you see him, he's brilliant, he does great, but because you don't see him too much, it just kind of means that you're in for a surprise when he does return. And looking at this team is looking very, very scary because he's got some very nice physical threats in Meowscarader, Annihilate, Palafin, and he's got some very nice special threats from Armor Rouge and Goldengo. And then he's got Clodsire there just to be a bit of a wall. So again, normal's not going to really do much. You've got 2 fire weaknesses, but again, I try to ignore Meowscarader because of its protein ability. So I technically see this as 1. He's got 2 water weaknesses, but if Clodsire does have that ability, then that's only technically 1. Plus he's got 2 to counter that. 1 grass weakness, but again that's Palafin, but then he's got 3 resistances for that. 2 ice weaknesses, but then he's got 3 resistances for that. Meowscarader is only 1 weak to fighting, but then he's got 2 ghosts to deal with that, and plus with Protean if it uses Play Rough. There's 3 ghost weaknesses, which is unfortunate because I know there's 3 ground weaknesses here, but then you've got Meowscarader to deal with that, you've got Palafin to deal with that. It's unfortunate he's got 3 ghost weaknesses, but these 2 can kind of counter that. It just depends on who goes first. But then you have got the dark type here that can kind of deal with them. So defensively, it's looking quite nice. Bit iffy around the ghost and ground, but you've got coverage for that, like I mentioned before. And in terms of resistances, these are very nice. You've only got a few ones here, but everything else is 2 and 3. You've got 5 rock coverages, you've got 4 steel coverages, 4 ice coverages, and you haven't got anything here that doesn't hit at all. So offensively, again, this team is looking like a solid 8 out of 10 purely because it's got a nice defensive coverage, and very solid team. It's looking like a very big threat in this tournament, Dashen. So good luck to you. I hope you do really well. Kieran Johnson, I thought his team was very nice purely for the fact that he's the only one that I noticed straight away to support Quaquaval on his team. Kieran Johnson as a battler, he just comes up with these crazy team builds and you think, what is he doing that for? But then looking on here, I look at a dash bar, I'm thinking, what's he doing that for? So maybe he's going for the fire baiting of sending an Orthworm, using Shed Tail to get out of there, and if these 2 get hit with fire, then it just means that they can go crazy. Okay, defensively, there's only 4 2s. He's got 2 fighting weaknesses from Orthworm and Baxcalibur, but then he's got 3 resistances to those, so fighting isn't going to cause too much chaos. He's got 2 psychic weaknesses, but then he's got 2 resistances to those. And the other 2 2s I saw were the 2 steel weaknesses with Baxcalibur and Dashbun, but with a fighting type on your team and a steel type. Fighting type and then Clodsire if he has Earthquake, that can kind of deal with that. And 2 fairy weaknesses, but then he's got a steel type and a poison type to deal with those. In terms of the offensive side, for the attacks that they'll have, he's got a fighting type move. He hasn't got anything for bug, so he hasn't got a rock type, he hasn't got a fire, or flying. Yeah, let's give Kieran a 9 out of 10 purely because if he can deal the damage with Quackquavel, if he can get up some sort of setups. Again, good luck Kieran in the tournament. I really hope you do well. Team-wise, it's looking crazy at the moment. I expected at least 2 or 3 people to have it, but for you to be the only person to have Quackquavel, it's just crazy knowing that we're seeing a duck on at least someone is using a Quackquavel. Connor dates back to this group about 2 years now, but he's come back for Scarlet and Violet with this team of Scaladurge, Palafin, Goldengo, Cyclozar, Espathra and Glimora. You've got 2 water weaknesses, but again you can just count that with Goldengo if that's Thunderbolts, 2 point immunities, you've got poison immunity. Now again, similar to my team, you've got 3 ground weaknesses, and you've got nothing to really counter that in terms of resistances. You've got Palafin there, that if you're thinking about a ground type threat, then Palafin can just deal with those. The other option is if one of these 3 has an air balloon or something, you just want to have a balloon. You've got 3 ghost weaknesses. You have countered that with your normal type Cyclozar, but you counter ice really well, which is nice. You've got fire, steel, rock, and if you've got close combat. You counter rock really nicely and you counter steel really nicely. Everything else is a 2, except for these top few, but you're not really worried about normal type. Yeah, I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. There's no big holes in the tournament. There's nothing that's going to really screw you over unless someone brings in a dark ground type, which is Crocodile, but Crocodile is not allowed in this tournament. You are on the special side more with Scaladurge, Goldengo, Glimora and Espathra being special attackers. Palafin, you're only real physical attacker. But yeah, good luck in the tournament, Connor. Thank you for being part of this chat. So Nico again, he's one of the admin in the group. Nico is a very good battler. Nico has won, I think, a couple of tournaments now, and he can just hold his own quite nicely. I enjoy seeing his team compositions. He's helped out a lot in terms of running the group and making sure training cards. He's actually the person who sorted out these training cards. Defensively, again, this is similar to Kieran Johnson's 2 electric weaknesses. You haven't got ground type to compensate for that, but I imagine that maybe Glimora gets ground move. You got 2 grass weaknesses from the same Pokemon, 2 fighting weaknesses from Meowscarada and Mousehold, Time Sword ground weakness, which is unfortunate, but then you've got 2 water types to deal with that, and then you've got grass type here. 1 psychic weakness, but then you've got these 2 to handle that. 2 bug weaknesses, nothing on rock, so if you get hit with a rock type move, then these are going to be hit neutral. Same with dragon. So you've got 3 fire coverages, like I've said, rock and water. You've got 3 poison and ground coverages, which is nice. 4 rock coverages and then 3 dark and steel coverages. Depending on how this team is built, I can see it being quite interesting. So I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10, possibly 8 out of 10. The reason I say 7 is because it would be nice with a few more of these to have 2s or 3s. Good luck in the tournament, I hope you do well. Alright, Mosbert, the final card we're going to be going over today. Mosbert's been part of the group for a while. He holds his own and he can be very threatening in terms of looking at this team right now. It's looking very threatening with 3 very physically offensive threats and 3 very special threats. So defensively, 2 fire weaknesses, located being the bug type, 1 water weakness which can get countered. Grass, you've got 4 resistances, which is always nice. 2 ice weaknesses, but then again that's for Protean. You can counter that with a rock type move. 3 bug weaknesses, which you have got Piltron there to help, you've got Glimora there to help out. You have got 3 rock weaknesses here with no resistances, whereas this has got 2 bug resistances, this has got no rock resistances whatsoever. You have to rely on a grass type attack from Meowscarada. You've got 2 steel weaknesses, but then you've got fighting type move on here possibly fighting type move on Meowscarada, and then you've got 3 fairy weaknesses. This is looking quite nice. You've got coverage to grass, you've got nice coverage to fighting, flying, rock, dragon, dark. I think I'd give this an 8. 3 weaknesses here. Then you've got the electric and grass here, which you haven't really got a ground type to deal with. Or you might have earthquake on this, you might have earth power. Good luck in the tournaments. Can't wait to see how you do. And I think that's about it. Taylor with this team, very nice physical offense. From these 4, you got 2 special attackers. Not really a wall. Taylor's looking like a very good physical threat with a bit of special there to mix. So good luck Taylor. Yeah, good luck Sarah in the tournaments. You did get these 2 as a shiny. Good special threat with Goldengo and Kilowattrel with these 3 as good physical offensive attacks, unless you want to do more utility with this. Good luck Wizzy. You've opted for both the versions of Charcadets. They set up maybe if you've got a sunny day, maybe somewhere really well. So good luck Wizzy. I can't wait to see what you're going to be doing in this tournament. Mark, if you're in the chat, good luck in the tournament. Very surprising with our Bolivia, however you set that up. Gone for a nice Meowscarada and Annihilate combo with Ceruledge. You've got your traps with Gamora. There's me, I'm not going to go over myself. I'm the only one that had poor mods. I'm the only one that had Garganackle. Good luck with me, I suppose. Dashen, again, your team is looking quite well rounded. You've got 3 physical attackers, you've got 2 special attackers, you've got a wall. It's looking quite threatening. You've got the switching options. So good luck, Dashen. It's looking really nice. See how you do with the rest of the tournament. Kieran Johnson, again, for like the 3rd time now, congrats for being the only person to bring Quackravle. I was a bit surprised that it's the only one. Quackravle just kind of sits below Meowscarada without setting up Moxie or Speed investment, which if you can set up maybe with Vespafra, you can go down that route. Or from with its weakness to fire, switching into these 2. So we'll see how you do in the tournament. Good luck and all the best. Connor, your team is looking quite interesting. You've gone for the more specialty approach with these 4 being specially offensive, with Palafin as your only physical attacker. You have got this as an option for physical attack, but in terms of gameplay, you've gone for a more special approach with Marina as physical attacker. If you can set this up with Chantel, maybe in one of these a substitute, then that would work really well. Good luck in the tournament. I hope you play really well. Nico, again, very good luck in the tournament. You've gone for the 2 physical war types with a physical grass type attacker. These 3, depending on how they'll support the 3 above. Good luck in the tournament. Really interesting to see what these Pokemon will kick. So once you have a bug type on your team. You also got Kilowatch for Meowscarada, so you've already bought the 1st fastest and the 2nd fastest. So if you set up Tailwinds, already these are going to be going crazy. Excalibur is going to be interesting because you could go for all that attack or all that bulk maybe. So good luck, Mosbert. Thank you very much everyone for taking part. 34 comments, we've had a share. We're starting off quite nicely. Again, we're starting off new year with new stuff. Good luck everyone in this tournament. I really wish you all the best. Gone over the teams and kind of how they'll go. I hope I've been a great host. Good luck in the tournaments. Let us know how it goes. Bye guys, until next time, I've been TviTournaments signing out. And have a great tournament, have a great month, and I'll see you next time.